Hey, how's it going? So, we're looking very on brand today. We're going to talk about Vercel Ship. So, first of all, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it and we're going to do a whistle stop tour through all the different features and all the things that more specifically we find interesting because a lot of our stuff is focused around websites, clients, all that good stuff. So, first of all, BotID. This is kind of interesting to us in particular because BotID is a alternative to Google reCAPTCHA. And if you ever use Google reCAPTCHA, you know it sucks. Google reCAPTCHA is like one of the worst things, and you've always experienced it where it's like click 3 buses or click some crosswalks or do this or do that just to be able to fill in a form, and then as soon as you have that, people just drop off completely. So this completely removes all of that. This particular tool can sit on any kind of route or any kind of like function and essentially check if there is a bot, and you can see there's a very simple version of the code here where it's saying, is it a bot? Check bot ID. If it is a bot, access denied. If it isn't, then totally fine. That's a really, really cool functionality. It's probably the most important thing as far as we're concerned that came out with Vercel Ship, and it gives you more granular control over using these things. And let me bring you on to the next one. So we've got a couple to get through today. The next one is concurrent builds. So if you haven't experienced this, great stuff. If you have, this is very, very powerful. So it is where you basically make a whole bunch of changes to a website, and say the website takes 2 minutes, 3 minutes to build. The first website, you made the change, but then, I left in a typo. So now we have 2 changes that we need to put in. So I do another build, and while the first 3 minutes is still building, you have to then wait the 3 minutes for the first one to finish, and then a new build to come in and do another 3 minutes, and it's 6 minutes later, and you've actually seen the typo change. This allows for on-demand concurrent builds, which basically means you can essentially run 2 of them at the same time, or 3 of them, or 4 of them, or 5 of them, all the way up to 32 at once, and it's on demand. So it's not that you have to pay for 32 different environments or whatever, build systems. You just basically have, whenever you need it, an on-demand concurrent build. So it's pretty cool. It's another step. You'll see this in all of these different ones. It's another way that Vercel is doing something where it's not price gouging, and it's actually very, very nice. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. AI gateway. So again, if you're building AI right now, this is going to be helpful for you. This particular one is more about making the entire development experience easier when, model 1.32 is going to change to model 1.33, or, you're using OpenAI, and then all of a sudden the next one that's better is on Gemini, or, whatever system you're going to be using with AI. It's the idea that it can flick between any of them, any different model, any different vendor, and you just have one particular hub. Now, I think the AI SDK already is basically being used by the vast majority of AI companies out there, which is really, really cool. So if there is something where it's kind of a AI, I don't want to say wrapper, I'm going to say wrapper, but let's say AI wrapper, on top of, some functionality, let's say video captioning, anything like that. This is really, really useful because all the time these models are changing, like literally on a weekly basis, and this just stops you from having to go out, find the API key, make all the changes, find all the nuances of the new changes. This is just, you throw in a different, literally one line, and it's fixed, and that's the new model running. Rolling releases. Now, if you are looking at this, first of all, why are you watching this video? Because this is far too large for this video. But essentially, rolling releases is when you have a massive, massive company and you basically want to roll out a certain amount of the new deployment to see if things are broken. It's really, really powerful because it means that you can, say you make an absolute dud of a change and you push it to prod, and all of a sudden the performance goes down to 20%. This is going to be able to warn you before you distribute it to 100% of your customers, and maybe you'll find out at like 5% and you'll go, I need to roll that back instantly, hit the button, all good. But it's really nice development experience again. And I want to talk a little bit about Firewall, because the Firewall keeps getting improved, and literally only today I got challenged with it. Well, somebody got challenged on the website with the DDoS, and basically 12 people got denied, which is great. So it's always running, it's always fantastic, and frankly, if you're setting it up just nice and native the way that it's done through Vercel, it just works. I haven't had to think about any of this stuff. It just does everything it needs to do, and that's exactly what I want. More hands-off stuff. And then the Versail Agent. So this ties in very, very nicely with the firewalls, because Versail Agents are very, very neat in the way that you can basically debug a good chunk of what's wrong. So for example, if I pick this here, I can drag this bit, and I can say, what's happened here, what can I do to improve it, how do I stop this from happening in the future. This is a great way of using like LLMs to be able to do a lot of the, kind of grunt work that you don't want to have to do, and the debugging work that you don't really want to have to do, and just make your websites more secure and better and nicer. And then finally, we have micro front ends that absolutely nobody knows what they do. At some point, somebody's going to find out why we've built micro front ends, but there's now micro front end support, which is great. So yeah, have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.